Well, hey there, everyone, and welcome to today's VIP Trade Room with Roger Scott and Matt Horton. My name is Raleigh White, and I'm coming to you live from Austin, Texas, and I'm going to be your moderator today. Now, in today's session, Roger is going to be covering a critically important range of topics. And in today, he's going to focus on the ProTrader dashboard, why he created it, and how he uses it every day, all day long to identify and to help make trading decisions. He's also going to share some of the enhancements that he's made to the dashboard and why he wanted to make those enhancements. He's also going to tell us about how he uses the dashboard to find short and longer term plays, which stocks look good against longer term trends. And this is going to be great. He's going to find some hot stocks with relative strength, with strong relative strength live today. So we're going to take a look at what's happening right now during this presentation. And he's going to also show us how the ProTrader dashboard, how he uses it to swing trade opportunities as well as day trade opportunities. So today is going to be very, very focused on this core tool that Roger uses once again all day long to help analyze the markets and determine what trades he wants to take. Now, folks, if you've got questions during Roger's presentation, please type them in the chat window and we will address them periodically throughout the session so as not to interfere with Roger's presentation. Now, for those of you that were with us this morning for Roger's opening comments about the market, once again, he does that every day at 8 a.m. sharp Eastern Time for 1 hour. Takes a look at what's going on in the markets because, as you know, Roger, he likes us all to really understand what the big picture is doing before we narrow it down to stocks that we're looking at and ultimately how we might want to trade some of those stocks. Now, the overall theme for Roger today was that today felt like it was going to be a typical Friday. And what that meant is that it was going to be very, very quiet and moving sideways, or it was going to be intensely frenetic. Okay. He kind of feels like those are the polar opposites of what a Friday looks like. And his expectation today was that things would be fairly quiet ahead of the Trump-Putin meeting, which is scheduled for around 3 to 3:30 Eastern time today. There's a lot of eyes focused on that for a ton of reasons, and the markets are not exempt from that either. And from that perspective, he kind of feels like the markets, commodities, currencies, you put it all together, they're just sitting there in a wait and see mode. Now, as far as his catalysts for today are concerned, and you know what his definition of a catalyst is something that is known, but the market hasn't yet reacted to it. From his standpoint, on a sector standpoint, keep your eyes on chips and technology. And as far as he's concerned, stay away from chip stocks today. Also, keep an eye on healthcare and consumer discretionary sector. And he also feels like the Fed data, retail sales, and industrial production reports are the kind of things that are going to be released. We've got Fed governors speaking, et cetera. We got people concerned about does the producer price index that came out yesterday significantly lessen the chance of a rate cut in September? All these kinds of things are swirling around, but the information is known, and we're very interested to hear what the Fed governors are going to say about that today. I believe there are two or three of them that are on tap. Now, as far as his small cap watch list is concerned, and let me go ahead and publish this in the chat panel so that you can all see that. Let's see, there you go. There's his small cap checklist. And he does this at the beginning of a session every morning. And once again, looking at PPSI, looked like a strong move above 550. Payment above 90 cents and PGIN above $4.50. And the key thing is this. The key to his selection process is price action and volume, because that's really all you have to go on with these small cap stocks. They are not market dependent, so regardless of what the broader market is doing, these small caps seem to be immune from that. There's no RSI to take a look at because, quite honestly, the institutions, they're not buying small caps, so that's kind of worthless. And he also advises folks that you should only consider trading these during normal market hours. Now, when we look at the market with Roger at 8 o'clock in the morning, that's obviously pre-market. And he's not advocating investing or taking a look at trading any of these small caps before the market actually opens and you're in normal market hours. So PPSI, PMNT, and PGIN were the small caps for him today. Now, as far as Roger's daily stock list is concerned, watch list is concerned, you know that he concludes every session with his listing of those stocks that, once again, he's going to keep an eye on. They're on his watch list for a reason. And he walked us through each one of those. And you can see the short stocks: IoT, ACI, EXE, HRB, SFM, TDD, and TRI, all once again trending in a lower position. He's not big on shorts these days, but once again, these are shorts that look really good to Roger. And as far as the longs are concerned, you've got BP, CSX, MP, J&J, Johnson and Johnson, MS, UBS, HAS, VIR, and KLAC. And I've put those, the longs and the shorts, for you in the chat panel. And I'm always interested. Once again, this is what's on his stock list before the market even opens. And I'm always interested as to what how he's revised his list midday, which is when we have the VIP session, which is right now. So once again, for those of you that are just joining us at this point in time, we've got some exciting things to talk about during the VIP trade room. Roger's focus today is going to be on one of the core tools that he uses every minute of the day to make decisions. And we're talking about the ProTrader dashboard. And he's going to tell us why he created this and how he uses it all day long. He's also going to share enhancements that he's made to the dashboard and why those were important for him. He's also going to share how he uses the dashboard to find short and long-term plays. He's also going to look at which stocks look good against the longer term trend. You know, that's core to what he does in the morning. He looks at holistically at the market, what's going on, and then looks to see what stocks might be matching with these long-term trends. He's also then going to say, hey guys, let's take a look at what's happening right now. So he's going to go ahead and share with us some hot stocks that right now are showing a strong relative strength, and he'll do that live so we can all see that. And then lastly, he's going to show us how he uses the pattern, the ProTrader dashboard to swing trade these opportunities. Because once again, as you know, if you've been with Roger and you've been with him in the pit, you know him well enough. There's a lot of times when he sees opportunities that are very fast moving day trades, but essentially everything begins as a high quality swing trade. And he's going to share with you how he identifies and makes that decision and how he uses the ProTrader dashboard to go ahead and take advantage of those opportunities. So once again, coming in today, his feeling was it's going to be a normal Friday. And it kind of cracked me up because his definition of a normal Friday is it's going to either be a lazy day or it's going to be frenetic as hell. It's one of those two extremes. And he kind of felt it was going to be a lazy day. And let's see what he thinks about that when he comes on at this point in time. And as I mentioned, there were some key catalysts for day that he was going to be keeping his eye on. The sectors that he would be watching would be chip and technology, and then healthcare and consumer discretionary. Those are the two things. And he basically said, hey guys, when it comes to chips and technology, stay away. Just stay away from those today. All right. He also kind of felt like the markets were going to be in a wait and see mode because what do we have going on this afternoon? Well, between 3 and 3:30, Trump is supposed to meet with Putin, and there are a lot of eyes on that. So he just kind of feels like the markets, as well as the rest of us, are sitting here in a wait and see mode, if you will. We talked about the small cap watch list that was there. For those of you that may have just come on right now and you don't see that in your chat panel, let me go ahead and repost that so that you can see those. These are the small caps that he talked about this morning. And once again, fair warning, folks, his advice was you don't trade these pre-market. You only trade them during the regular hours. So once again, that's the preamble. I'm delighted to be here. I see we've got Roger. Roger, already an interesting day so far. And I just shared with the folks some of the things that we talked about this morning when we opened up the markets. And here we are midday. And my question, as always, is anything happened this morning that caught you by surprise, or is everybody behaving about the way you expected?
Today, absolutely no surprises at all today. One thing, Matt, if you can't check the if everything went out because the room seems a little okay, and everything's on Telegram. Oh, okay, okay. Maybe it's the summer. I don't know. Maybe I'm just here early. I love your new background. It's great.
Yeah, I decided today I would just move up to Chicago and go to the CBOE. You know the rules, Roger. I said, hey, Raleigh's in the room. Everybody either be quiet or leave.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Is there another class? Oh, they're winding down. Chuck and Graham are winding down a presentation. Jeez Louise, how many hours have they been at it? Hey, everybody. How long have those two been at it now?
I don't know. I think it was an 11 o'clock presentation. Let me
Oh,
see here. Yeah, 11 o'clock.
okay. All right. I get it. Well, I'm sure they'll be done pretty soon.
Mhm.
Anyway, anyhow, I'm sure folks would also want to be here because this is a great place. Funny. Oh, there is one thing I wanted to mention to you, Raleigh. It's not a surprise, but I actually wrote it to you. You were probably busy. You didn't see it this morning in the chat, but I wrote
Oh,
it for you. The This is funny. So yesterday, while you and I were here, and I was looking at my watch list. Remember, I was looking at my long stocks, and I was just kind of talking to myself.
yeah.
Let me share my screen real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Okay, Matt,
Who's
Matt will give you the sharing.
Matt? Can you do that, please? Thank you, Matt. There we go. One more time. I'll try once. So I'll just continue my story. There we go. So yesterday, we were just chit chatting, and I go off on I don't filter myself when I talk to you guys. I'm not. I don't. I mean, there's nothing I really have to hide. I don't have like I mean, what you see is really what you get, with me. But here's the interesting part. So let me pull up TC 2000. This will remind you of what I was talking about. This was the funniest thing ever. People remind me of trading ideas. So you may or may not remember yesterday, one of the stocks that we were talking about. One of the stocks that we were talking about was TTD, and and I looked at it and I said, while we were looking at it, and I said, I used the S. I was so happy about it. I used the S word, and I said, "Ooh, this would." Do you remember that yesterday? I said
Yes.
this would make a good. I said, "Ooh, this would make a S. This would make a good." I was really surprised and the reason was because the. So here's what I thought yesterday, and I didn't take the trade, and I don't know why, because I probably forgot because I kept going. So I said, "Hey, this is really great. The ATR is over $6." Yeah, it was that word. It was the S word. And I usually
Shazam.
am pretty polite about it. I usually don't say it, but
It caught you by surprise.
yeah, I was really surprised. And the reason I was surprised was because when I looked at the calls, when I looked at the calls, the 50, I remember it was the 51 calls. They were they were like 50 cents. And then I looked at the puts and they were like 50 cents or like something like $1.25 for everything. I said,
Mhm.
this thing fluctuates over $6 a day, and the spread that expires tomorrow is like a dollar 25. Do you guys remember it? It was just
Mhm.
yesterday. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then that's when I said the S word. Well,
The
I got
word
an
was the word was Shazbot.
yes, exactly. That was the word. So
Shazbot.
I get an email. I get an email. I get an email earlier today from from Edwin. Edwin Cornea. Edwin says, "Did 20 contract strangle on TDT as discussed yesterday? $1,420 profit. Thanks." I love it. I wanted to give that as a bonus trade. I totally forgot about it. Somebody took it from the room here, made $1,420 and posted it for me. That's what I'm talking about. But it was so funny because I totally forgot about that trade and I don't know why. And it was a great idea and I should have taken it. But anyway, we're here and we're past that. So today, but I just thought that was really funny because when anytime, so the moral of the story is this, okay? So let me give you the moral of the story. Anytime you see an ATR that's like 5 or 6 times, or 4, 5, 6 times higher than the spread, that's a good trade. That's a good trade. Because think about this. If this stock moves $6.42 a day on average, right? For
Hmm.
the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's see today, 53.50. So it's moved $3 today. And today's only halfway over and it's Friday. But here it is. Here's the ATR. This is the 10-day ATR. I'm not making this up. It's right here, $6.40. So if you can get a spread for $1 and the daily move is $6, that's a great trade. That's a very high probability trade because the ATR is so much higher than the cost of the spread. So again, I just wanted to show this to you because it's very, very important, and it was very actionable as we saw by Ed making money. Did anybody else take this trade out of curiosity? Got a couple hundred people in here. Anybody else take this trade? There you are, Ed. You got it at 95 cents. So think about this. He paid 95 cents and look at the fluctuation. That's money right there. That's a trade that expired. Yeah, so he took a trade that expired today. We did this yesterday in the VIP room live. Jay Singer made 600. Okay, so he wasn't the only one. So other people made money on that trade too. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So when I say it actually pays to be here, it really does. Now, I'm going to talk about the ProTrader dashboard. The ATR, Ruth has actually a really good question that's related to this. We're talking about buying, not selling, buying straddles. Okay? Straddles or strangles. Now, the only difference between a straddle and a strangle is one is the same strike price, call and put, and the other one you can play around with the strike price. Like you could do a 51 call and a 50 put. You could do that too, which will even save you any more money. But and which was what I was talking about in the case of yesterday. But the cost means nothing. It's the cost in relationship to the ATR. If you see something happening in ATR of $6 and you can buy a non-directional trade for 24 hours for $1, the result is, yeah, it's a straddle strangle. I don't really like the only difference between straddles and strangles, excuse me, is one same strike price and the other one you can play around with the strike prices. How do you find the ATR? Every broker has an ATR. There's a momentum shift. Every broker has an ATR here. So let's say you don't know where to find it and you don't want to spend any money. Okay, here you would go to bar chart. That's a great question. You would go right here. You would go, let's say IBM. Let's just look at IBM. I'm just randomly taking IBM. I have no. There's nothing behind IBM right now that you need to be looking at. So right here, standalone, look, there it is, ATR. Now, when you do yours, you're going to get 14 days. Mine is special. I got inside with I'm just kidding. You change it. You change it to 10. To change it to 10. Actually, the owners will not let me pay. I try paying. They're like, your payment button doesn't work. We give it to you for. They're the nicest people. Very, very nice people. I've been using this company for about 25 years for various things. They started out, by the way, and Raleigh may remember this. They started out back in the day as only futures and commodities.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day, it was just, yeah, stocks was like an afterthought. Anyway, you change this to 10, you apply it, and I'm just going to erase volume, and there's your ATR. So we were looking at, what were we looking at? We were looking at TTD, right? So let's just do TTD here. Let's see if they match up. I don't have it programmed, so I have to just do it again here. Okay, 10-day ATR. Survey says $5 and $5, and here it is currently at $6.42. So they're using a slightly different whatever, but $5, $6. If you can buy something for $1 and the average fluctuation is $5-6 a day, that's a no-brainer. That's all I wanted to say. I don't want to continue going into it. So I want to talk about the ProTrader dashboard today. What the ProTrader dashboard is and how to use the ProTrader dashboard. This is the ProTrader dashboard. Actually, we're looking at it right now. This is it right here. Now, there's two parts to the ProTrader dashboard. There's this part right here, and there's this part right here. Let me just get that for you. Right here. That's this, and let me give you the other part. And this. I'm just going to press this to make it start having it work. Now, the only difference here, let me just try something here. Okay, just wanted to see. The the only difference that you may have, I have a lot of screens, okay? So I like to separate this and this into two different screens. A lot of you have this just like this, where the bottom of this is this. This is the strongest and this is the weakest. So if you don't mind scrolling, or if you want to save some real space, it comes in as one scanner. But because I'm a fancy schmancy kind of guy, and because I have a lot of screens and I'm always looking for reasons to expand my screens, I have it on two. That's the only difference. Otherwise, it's the same thing. So the ProTrader dashboard is not just one thing. It's two things. Okay. It's this right here and this scanner. Now, how important is the ProTrader dashboard to me? So I'm just going to tell you right here. I have the day trading stuff. I have the Alpha Zone Pro right here on one screen on top left. On here, I have the market internals right here. So I have two screens to the left of me you can't see. So I want to show you what I have on my screens. So I have this. That's Alpha Zone Pro. I have market internals. This is to the left, two monitors. Then these two parts are all over the place wherever I could fit them, because I don't need to look at them every 5 minutes. But I want to show you something. The rest of my monitors, and I'm not kidding with you, on top I have the ProTrader dashboard with the indices. This is the ProTrader dashboard. This is the ProTrader dashboard with the indices. To the right of me, I have the ProTrader dashboard right here, and here are the daily charts, ProTrader dashboard. And on top right, I have the S&P 500 and anything I want to see with a 1.5 standard deviation, which I need to put on the lower screen too. So my point here is 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screens have the ProTrader dashboard on them. I don't do anything without looking at the ProTrader dashboard. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So real quick, I have a laptop here. The laptop, I communicate with the office. I'm on a couple of bulletin chat boards with traders and talk to traders on my laptop. And I have TC2000. That's on my laptop. Notice how I always have to turn on TC2000 when I start this show. I always say, give me a minute, let me start TC2000. That's because I don't have it on this computer. TC2000 is very lightweight. And I have a laptop to the left of me. Now, it's not a regular laptop. It's a laptop. I can't. Oh, actually, of course I can. Look, you can see it right. Let me see what you guys are looking at. Let me see what you guys are looking at. Okay, see this? See the laptop right there? I have three monitors right there on the laptop. Okay, there's 3 monitors there. So it's a laptop with 3 monitors to the left of me, and it has nothing to do with the other computer. That means if the other computer goes out, I have a laptop and I could trade, I can talk to you guys. I have all my stuff on the laptop. You always want to have 2 independent systems. Then I have 2 monitors to the left of me, which you cannot see right here. I have right there. See that? Those 2 monitors? That's the laptop's on the bottom, and then I have 2 monitors right here. Okay. So I know it's not a great like view, but you guys could, Raleigh, you could see what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah,
right there is the 2
exactly.
monitors. You
The
could
two
see them.
monitors there. Yep.
Yeah, that's where I have Alpha Zone Pro on top, and I have the internals to the left. And I like it exactly that way, because I always look at the internals. That way I don't have to look up. I can just look to the left of me. Then here I have 4 pro. I have on top of me, I have 2 monitors. One that I'm looking at you guys on right now. Right here. And I have a teleprompter and a camera in front of me with another monitor. That's just mimicking what I have. But on top, I have this. This is the ProTrader dashboard with SMH, QQQ, MAGS, and RSP. So I can compare them all day long, right? We talk about that. I send you, and then on the bottom left, this is my main monitor. I have literally two ProTrader dashboards, just raw. One with the oscillator, one with the sector scan, because I don't want to take up more real estate. But and then to the right, I have another ProTrader dashboard and a daily chart and a full chart here. Here I have this on my far right monitors. I have this, the S&P 500 with the VWAP, the 15 and the 8-day and volume, and I don't need anything else. And this, the daily with the 1.5 standard deviation, 1.5 standard deviation right here from the 8-day EMA on a daily and the American flag. And then on the bottom, I have another ProTrader dashboard right here, but I only have one because anytime I want to look at this, I want to have the daily and I want to have the American flag. So I have all that here, and then on the left, I have TC2000, which I'm going to turn on in a minute. That's pretty much my setup. Okay, it's simple and it's very clean, and I reevaluate it once a year, and I make any adjustments. Like right now, I need to put the 1.5 standard deviation on the right. I need to take a couple of other things into consideration, but for the most part, we're talking about one or two little tweaks. You like this, huh, Rob? Yeah, you'll be able to watch it on where Raleigh's got you. I don't need to be here for that. Yeah, thank you. I forgot again. You're here. Okay, so why am I explaining all this? I'm explaining all this because the ProTrader dashboard is my best friend. Because if I'm looking, unless I'm day trading S&P 500, I'm looking everything through this lens. So let me show you what I typically do and how I do it. Okay. And well, actually, before I do that, let me show you what everything means, okay? Because I don't think I've ever done that before. Because this is really cool. So, and this is an addition we made recently to it. So, for those of you who already know the ProTrader dashboard, this is like a flight cockpit, okay? This is the relative strength on a daily. This is 10 days right here. 10 days, 10 bars. 10 bars, 10 bars, 10 bars, because I want to know if I'm day trading or swing trading, if I have relative strength to the SPY. This is all geared to the SPY. Then I want to know if relative volume is high or not. Okay. Why is relative volume important? Because Steve says I have 8 of them on them. Yeah. I mean, you can't get enough of these. So I could know at a glance, is volume high for this time of day? Not is volume high overall. That's this. Is volume high for this time of day? Is anybody pressing on the gas pedal on an hourly time frame, 30-minute time frame, 15 or 5? And this is the relative strength right here, okay? Okay. Then, let me just switch this to, okay. Then you have, see, like volume on Roblox is 128% of the average volume right now. Right now. It's 12 o'clock. Look at hourly 30-minute and 15-minute relative volume. See how they're all buzzing?
Mm-hmm.
If you're day trading or swing trading, meaning like overnight, this is vital. And you don't want to have to look it up. You want to have it right in front of your face. Okay? Then the next thing, and remember I showed you on top why I have it on top, even though I'm not trading the SMH, QQQ, because I don't have to look at the chart. I have to just look right here. All I have to do every 20 minutes or every 10 minutes is just look here. Oh, okay. Like if you take the chart off, I could tell you that right now RSP is stronger than the SPY. And I could tell you that MAGs are sucking it right now in comparison to the SPY. Yeah. And I could tell you that QQQs is not doing well compared to the SPY. And SMH is kind of chugging along, equal to the SPY, without having to look at them together if I don't want to. That's the power of the ProTrader dashboard. Look at that. So I'm not using the entire ProTrader dashboard here, but I'm using parts of it here just to show me how I am doing. And I have this all the time on my, I look at this every, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 minutes. And you guys know that because I post you charts from that page all the time. Okay. You too, Omar. Hello. For anybody I did not say hello to, I apologize. I just wanted to get started really, really quick, and I'm sure Raleigh took good care of you before I came in here. Thank you for that, Raleigh. Doing a fantastic job. Okay, um, so this right here, or this right here, tells me instantly how strong the stock, whatever stock. Let's just say Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft. Look, boom. I could tell you Microsoft is outperforming SPY right now. Okay, Intel. I could tell you Intel's outperforming the SPY right now. How about TTD? Flat, neutral, was underperforming, and now it's, see that, starting to move back up. Point is, you now have a way to gauge strength of any asset compared to the SPY on a volume, relative strength, and volume with a click of a mouse like this. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 ProTrader dashboards, different ones on my screen. The SPY is built in, Stacy. That's what this is. This is tuned. The purpose of the ProTrader dashboard is to compare everything to the SPY. So this is comparing everything to the SPY, relative to the SPY. Because the SPY is the big daddy. So it's comparing everything to the SPY. Okay? Like Adobe, for example. Oh, Adobe just gave us a buy signal. Now, I want to show you something cool. Look, you see this arrow that just hit? And you see these are profit targets. Now, this just hit a minute ago, this arrow. When the sound came, I don't know if you heard the sound on my computer, but this was the arrow, and that's the profit targets right here. Okay? Now, and you could see it's gaining relative strength. You could see on the daily, it's not doing great, but hourly, 30 minutes, so this is great for a day trade. And 15 and 5-minute relative volume is there's buying coming into this stock right now. And here's your profit targets. And if it hits one of them, it'll hit your stop too. It'll give you your stop loss level too, which is right here. Okay. So my point is, this is great, but this is what I wanted to show you. Let's say you're trying to find a stock to buy. Okay. When Adobe's green light pops up right here, this, you see how it says in range and this says breakout? This will shift when the green light comes on. This will shift into breakout mode. So if I don't have to look at all of these stocks. I can just go here, press scan. During the day, hit 5 minutes right here, and it's going to it's right now calculating the strength of every stock, and and it has to be trading above yesterday's high. The other one has to be below yesterday's low. So right away, immediately, I could tell you right now that T-Mobile is the strongest stock right now. So let's just quickly take a look at it. T-Mobile. Oh my. Oh my.
Yeah.
Look at this, Raleigh.
Yep.
Look at that. Look at this relative strength.
It's parabolic.
Parabolic. What does ProTrader dashboard say? A boom. Now, I remember this morning we were talking about CSX, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this morning we were talking. I have it actually on my list, CSX. Well, look at CSX. And let's see another one. How about VLO? Oops, VLO. Look at VLO. But the cool thing is, you don't have to, let's say it's morning, and it starts calculating at 10 o'clock, half hour after the opening. So let's say you're starting to get a breakout above the opening range. It'll automatically tell you what stocks are hitting in real time.
Yeah, that's cool.
So let's say you're watching, it's 10 a.m., and bing, it hits right here, and you get a breakout. And all of a sudden, you get profit targets. All of a sudden, you get profit targets right here, and you're off to the races. And you got your stop loss level as well. So it's very, very useful for long and for shorts to be able to do that. Very, very, very useful. And you don't have to sit there and flip through charts. You just have to go bloop, and that's it. Or now let me tell you how I like to use it. Okay. All right. So I'll tell you what I like to do. First of all, I don't start here. I start at the daily chart. The daily chart has to jive. So my concern is my watch list stock's going to be here. It happens to be that CSX is number 2 on my list this morning. It was number 2 stock this morning. And Newmont was actually on my list too this afternoon. And I think Newmont was up here somewhere. But my point is, if I want to find a strong moving stock, assuming the dailies are good, this right here, can you show it? Yeah, I'm going to, Chris, in a minute. This is extremely helpful because if one of your stocks that I gave you or one of the stocks that you found happens to be right here, you're golden. You're golden. And you don't have to sit there and wait for it. Just wait for this to light up. Because in the morning, they'll all be in range. They'll be like this. And, and then they'll break out. But anyway, it's very, very useful. Now, for swing trades, what I like to do is, again, so what I'll do is this. I'll pull up TC2000, but I'll pull up TC2000. Let me do that right now. Here's TC2000. Okay. Pull up TC2000. I can't have this and this. I can't be working on these at the same time. One of them will disappear. So I'm just going to explain to you what I do. I have this list on, as I said, all the time. And what I'll do is this. During the day, I'll check for a little dip in the SPY, and I'll start looking for the strongest stocks. But I don't look at them on the ProTrader dashboard. I look at them on the scanner, the ProTrader dashboard scanner. Then I come here. I come to the daily chart right here, and I start popping these stocks on here till I find a beautiful, oh, thank you, HG. That's what didn't make sense. Then I find a really nice looking daily chart. Okay. If I find a nice daily chart, then I start. See, this is going to do something here. Let's see. Oh, I guess I can't have them on at the same time. So, Microsoft's starting to come back. Good. So let's just try this. T-Mobile, it looks good on a daily? Yeah, it's breaking out. It looks great on a daily. Okay, perfect. Now I don't have to worry about this anymore. So I go down the list. I go, Google was that Google that just popped up on my list? Because I like Google out right now. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I like Google right now. Actually. Anyway, so I find a strong stock that's maybe in the top 10, top 15 right here. Very strong stock that's in this group. I don't go too much further down. I only worry about these right here at any given time. And they shift because remember, momentum, I put them, Patrick, 80% of my stocks are from here are in the pit. About 80%. Probably about 85% of all the trades I give you in the pit are from here. This is exactly how I find them. Except I don't give you a signal sometimes in a stupid market climate like we are in right now to buy breakout. I give you a pullback trade. You understand, Patrick? I use what we call my brain and 31 years of experience. But let's continue. So, yeah. So you're welcome. So right here, we're constantly looking for stocks that are right here, and we're constantly comparing these stocks to the stocks on my watch list, like Meta, like Google. So let's just really quickly go down the list, right? Just see if we find a good, strong stock. CVX. Is it breaking out right now? Yeah, it is. It looks pretty good. CVX looks good. T-Mobile looks good. So then what I would do, Patrick, is I would come here and I would evaluate if I want to take it on a breakout or if I want to set a VWAP alert. So let me give you an example because you say, why don't I do that in the pit? So I'm going to show you something because this is a good learning point. How do you think this baby was born right here? At 10:15. It was the top stock here. It was on my watch list. I noted that it was breaking out. But then, Patrick, I have what we call a brain. So I said to myself, it's Friday. We have weakness in tech. We have strength in blue chips. We have a meeting, a Yalta conference between Putin and Trump. I think today's going to be a rotation day, which I spoke about for an hour at 8 o'clock today, by the way. I'm sure you were there. So then I would give you this. How do you think this came about? Exactly how I'm showing you right now. Except in the middle of August, you don't want to trade breakouts. Anyway, maybe if it was Tuesday morning, but not today. That's why you pay for the service. You understand? So let me continue. Without inter. But it was a good question, fair question, fair question. So let me continue. So I go down this list, okay, and I start looking at daily stocks. And as soon as I find 3 or 4 that I like, well, I send you an alert in the pit, like I just demonstrated to Patrick. But more importantly, I set an alert right here. Like let me give you an example from today. Alert console. Look at some of the alerts I set. See, Patrick, just to prove to you that I'm not playing, I actually set an alert. I send you guys a notice at 10:15, right? I went ahead and sent an alert. Go ahead and grab that. Thank you, Bugs. I appreciate that. No, but I want to show you. Look at what I did at 10:16. I set in a VWAP alert and then when the VWAP hit, I reevaluated the stocks and I saw what the market was doing, which was kakapupu. And I said, I don't think it's a good idea to take those trades right now in light of the market action, which is exactly what I teach you to do, to always compare the market and the stocks to the SPY. See how easy that was? So usually I have a good answer because I would have taken that trade. I would have taken either Meta or but for that. So you asked a really good question, and I do it daily. Matter of fact, every time you guys get a VWAP alert or a watch list alert, it comes from this. So let me, Darla's asking, what does it cost? You'll find out in about 45 minutes, Darla. But let me now show you the short side. I think me walking you guys through it like this really helps answer a lot of questions, even for people who have it. By the way, this is the best-selling software in the history of the pub. That I know for a fact. That's a fact. And then I'm going to show you. So see the breakout window? I didn't have this when we launched this. And I'll get to the actual data. I want to continue with this in a minute. But here's the short list. Let's scan it and let's see what the weakest stocks are right now. Since we're looking at weak stocks, I'm just going to move this aside. Keeps disappearing on me. Here it is. Okay. So Tesla, ADI. Remember I told you a few days ago, I told you about Tesla? Anybody remember that? Let me show you. There's a lesson here. This is the free Telegram channel. This was long time ago. It was yesterday at 11:11 in the morning. A few days ago, I showed you this chart of Tesla, and I said that if it can't break out, it will come down, and it is. New Picasso drawing for you on Tesla. Look at the arrow. Free, didn't cost you anything. ProTrader dashboard. Okay, so here's the short stocks, and voila, Tesla is one of the weakest stocks. We got, is this Time Warner, WMT? No, Walmart. What am I saying? How can I confuse one of the largest companies in the world with that? But let me just pull this up a little bit, and we'll look at the weakest stocks right now. I just don't want to have them on the same screen. SCOO, I think that's a copper company. Yes, it is. Look at the 5-minute. But you see, this to me is useless until this looks good. So let's continue going down the list. Tesla is right now at support. If it breaks this, it's probably going to hit the 50. If it breaks the 50, it's going to hit the 100. And I think it will based on what I'm seeing right now. Let me just give you the other side of that channel so you guys have something to work with. This is kind of what I'm seeing right now. Right there. Okay? Yeah, Bugs, I'm going to, if Raleigh reposts that in the channel, I'm going to repost it in the Telegram channel later on.
Yeah, I'll be glad to repost that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So Tesla, let's continue. ELF, I just randomly am picking some. So I start with the daily. The daily has to look good. I need to see a breakdown. I'm not seeing a breakdown in any of these. GL, maybe right here, maybe. But look at but if you want to day trade, whew, look at these 5 minute charts. Cisco. Oh, there we go. With a target right here at the 100-day line, look at the 5 minute. So either way, the ProTrader dashboard is your best friend. Now, once I'm done with this daily chart, I go right here to the ProTrader dashboard, and this is the coolest part. So let's talk about the long ones. Or short one. Let's do Cisco. Well, oh yeah, red, 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 red. You want all this to be red. You want it. Remember, it's a short. You want it to underperform the S&P. Yeah, you got that. You got volume. You got volume. It's lunchtime. We're already at 85%. And we're about to hit our first target, by the way. That's the entry shorts right here. That's our first profit. That's our second profit. Look at relative weakness, right? Look at relative weakness and see, this is all red. I added this. This is not the same as AZP has. This is this is a fractal. It looks at the 5 minute, 15 minute, and 45 minute oscillator that does not have any divergence. Divergence lags the oscillator. If you ever see an oscillator, it lags behind price. You don't want that. This doesn't lag. So, this, what is this? Me and Lance should share opinions. Me and Lance don't do anything together. Me and Lance don't. The perfect Tesla trader is not my thing. Yeah, I don't get me roped up into Lance's shenanigans, Blockman. I have nothing to do with Lance. Lance is his own man. He's his own man. All right. So you guys see this. You guys see this right here. This downtrend in Cisco. 85. You got the volume. You got the volume. You got the relative weakness. You don't have to look any further, and you have a confirmation. So it's really, 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 really good for that kind of stuff. And again, the signals are here. This would be a profit target. It's a little too late for this. The signal was right here. First signal was here. Second signal was right here. And we were off to the races right here. And you had a nice little profit. I mean, this is not a big trade right here. The market's very choppy right now. But this is fractal, and it works on 3 different time frames. This is something I've added to the ProTrader dashboard. This is something I've added to the ProTrader dashboard. But and then so you guys know all the stuff we just went through. So let me just kind of go back. We start at my watch list in the morning, which I get from StockFetcher, right? Because I do that when the market's closed. You could get that from anywhere. You can get that from me. Then when the market opens, I gauge the market. I gauge the market to see what it's probably going to do. I told you this morning for an hour. We do this together. We're in this together. I told you this morning exactly what I thought. And I told you that it's Friday, that one index is up and the other one is down. I gave you 100 reasons why I thought the market was not going to go anywhere, mostly because it's Friday. And I told you that Fridays usually crazy things happen or nothing happens. The news didn't move the market. The bond market isn't, let me see, maybe I'm not misspeaking. The bond market is, actually the bond market's going down quite a bit, but not significant. And I said there's probably not going to be any news till after the Yalta conference is over between Trump and what's his name, Putin, Vladimir. So the point of this is I wasn't expecting a lot today, and if the market's not going to do anything for you, the ProTrader dashboard's not going to do anything for you because all of these stocks are children of the parent, and the parent is the market, and the market you need to move. You need movement here. Fridays and Mondays are not the best days, although Friday afternoons sometimes are. So usually we do non-directional trades and things like that. So you can't ignore the market. But assuming the market's your friend, you've got this baby here and you've got the short side. You start finding daily stocks here. Then you start looking at the 5-minute on the ProTrader dashboard, which is right here, and you start finding stocks. If you're long, you want this to be green. Like, for example, right now I'm looking at this morning I was looking at Roku. Or how about Newmont? See? Green. So you were right here. This is where it told us to enter this morning. at 10:50 in the morning, this is where it would drive you, and this is where you would take profit right here. And if you want it to hold a runner, here's a second profit target. But you get that with the ProTrader dashboard. It's a complete all-in-one system that's designed to show you stocks that have the strongest momentum, that are outperforming every given stock. Like right now, if somebody put a gun to your head and says, what's the strongest stock right now? I could tell you it's NEE. It's battling every stock. Now, the daily may not look good, but we know that T-Mobile looks pretty good and it's still up here. And at the end of the day, we do the same type of exercise. No, not the daily. The arrows only come on the 5-minute, because the daily just tells you what stock, if you want to engage with that stock or not. The 5-minute tells you when to engage. So we start looking at this around 3:30, and stocks that are coming from down here up here, that's the ones you want, because it's telling you that institutions are having a field day accumulating it on an hourly basis. So these stocks are becoming stronger more for swings. And that's better for like, I know for a fact, because I have a pretty good memory, that AbbVie is breaking out right now on a daily. I would be watching the stock UNH, we know it's breaking out. We know certain stocks are breaking out on this list. I would be watching this for 3:30, 4 o'clock. Thank you, Manny. I appreciate the nice words. So my point is, I've thought of everything humanly possible to make sure you have the scanner that gives you the stocks. Make sure you don't have to watch it. That's the opening range breakout. So this begins working at 10 o'clock to tell you the arrow, when the arrows come right here. So all you got to do is have this on, click this, and at 10 a.m., if you see go to a breakout, look at the stock immediately. You're not like you're not scalping. I mean, you would have been in this trade from 10:50. You would have been in this trade for 2 hours already. Nothing happened. I mean, beyond you making money, nothing like changed. You're still in it. So this is a really, really good structure to give you entries, exits, stop losses, and keep you on the right side of the market. A lot of my students, like Omar, Richard, they started with the ProTrader dashboard. And the ProTrader dashboard, I'm very happy to say, is I believe the best-selling product in the history of the pub, as far as I know.
Yep.
It is, right?
It is, yes.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's a really and I can't trade without it either. It's that good. It's really that great. And yeah, one of the things about me and the pub, I don't get involved with any, except for Kane. I don't get involved with any other trader systems. I have no idea what they're doing or any of that. It's a good question, and what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to give you a structured webinar that covers absolutely everything that I just talked about. Now, when I speak, sometimes I go here, sometimes I go there, sometimes I go everywhere. But this is a structured class that will it'll cover every topic we just covered. It'll solidify that information. And it'll give you a really, really good idea of what this is all about. Okay? This will give you a really, really about. So let me do that right now. Matt, in about 10, 15 minutes, maybe you can usher people out of YouTube and put them in here.
Yep.
All right. So, and I'll give you, I think I already gave you the strongest and the weakest stocks, but I'll give you the strongest and the weakest stocks when we're done. And we've been having, as I said, we've been using this in the pit, and we've been having great success in the pit. And if you have any questions, I'm not going to focus on the chat right now. Raleigh will. But if you have any questions, Raleigh will save it till I'm done, and I will answer every one of them for you.
Yep.
My suggestion is to pay very close attention, because everything I just discussed, you guys will have you'll have a very good understanding of. So this is very important. And at the end, I will give you the strongest stock on the dashboard long, and I'll give you the strongest stock on the dashboard that's short as well. But I'll give you all of that stuff. Okay. All right. Profits, performance, they're not typical. ProTrader dashboard is a tool. This is a tool, and it's a very important tool. And the markets are about to start heating up. So I wanted to give you something that I really, really like. Now, there will be losers. There's no black box miracle system that prints out winning trades on demand. the whole purpose of my research is to help you find an edge in the market. I have never ever seen anything give a stronger edge than the ProTrader dashboard. To give you, why am I saying that? Can I back that up? Well, yeah, I can, and I'll tell you how. My win rate in the pit is beyond 94%. That's almost 400 trades. I think we're right at 400, somewhere around there. I've had 5. If I take a loser on the current trade that we have, which I haven't closed out yet, it'll be my 5th loser this year. Okay, 5th loser this year. We typically have 5 to 7 trades a week, and that's not counting 3 or 4 bonuses I give you. So how do I know it works so well? Because I have a 94% win rate on directional trades. Okay, that's how I know. And when I was doing it before, before we launched it, if you guys remember, I had a 96% win rate in the free Telegram channel when I did this 2 summers ago on the 160 trades I gave you. So this is not some cockamamie tool I created yesterday. This is the best I could do for day trading and swing trading stocks. I can't do better than that. And this tool helps me achieve that. And folks, if you've been successful with this program, if you've had success, please post your success with the ProTrader dashboard here. I think folks are completely in love with it. Matter of fact, I don't think anybody wants to give it back. My name is Roger Scott, and what you're about to see today is truly a massive breakthrough. It's a way for active traders to tackle the markets like never before. It's a new approach that allows you to mimic the moves of institutional traders. Because when you're finding stocks that are underperforming every stock in the S&P 500 or outperforming, guess what you're doing? You're finding stocks that institutions are either buying up like madmen or they're just selling like hotcakes. And that's the bottom line. Now, this is a new approach in real time. It takes 3,223 lines of code. We didn't modify simple indicator for this. We created a platform. Now, somebody asked me it works with Thinkorswim, it works with TradingView, the full package, and with TradeStation. TradeStation. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's part indicator, it's part scanner. As I showed you, it has 2 parts. It's not just one part. They go together. The scanner and the platform go together. And when it's applied to your platform, it provides instantaneous alerts on stocks that institutions are buying and selling in real time, which means you can copy their moves as they happen, okay, as they happen. We call this the ProTrader dashboard. And in a moment, I'll show you a few stocks that are under heavy institutional buying or selling pressures in real time. Yes, it's installed on Thinkorswim or TradeStation or TradingView. That way you could take some free trades, maybe if you feel like it, on the house. And I've already showed you several that I like, but I'll show you some more at no charge. But first, let me show you how it works. What you see here is the ProTrader dashboard. Now, this picture was taken before we added the oscillator, before we added the Master Blaster Disaster Oscillator. Yes, it's called the Master Blaster Disaster Oscillator. That's really what it's called, okay? That's called. And we added that. So there's an oscillator, the fractal oscillator that I talked about. Now, it looks complex. It's really straightforward. If you could figure out buy arrows and sell up arrow and down arrow, you got it figured out. An up arrow means go long. A down arrow means go short. If you can handle that, then you're like literally halfway there, because all that's next is knowing when to exit the trade. Now, after analyzing the market for the first 30 minutes, it doesn't do anything in the first 30 minutes. It'll automatically print two profit targets and a stop loss. It will automatically do that for you, okay? It will automatically do that for you. That way, you're never, ever left wondering what to do. All right. You're never, ever left wondering where to take profit. And oftentimes, after we got out of our first profit target in the pit, I'll give you the second profit target. And I'll say, hold the runner till we get to this level. That's where I get these levels. That's where I get these levels from. Look at that, 61% in 3 hours on the option. And it works exactly the same way to the sell side. You wait for a down arrow right there. Watch it as the profit target and stop loss levels automatically print on your chart. Right there. Then let the trade run its course, knowing you have a rock solid game plan. 57% in 5 hours. And that's it. Now, watch it happen again on Apple. There's the green arrow right there. It does not work on indexes. Please, it works on stocks. S&P 500 stocks, not indexes. If you want indexes, the AlphaZone Pro is your best friend. Okay? There's the green arrow. And just like that, Apple took off like a rocket ship. 64% in less than 2 hours. Watch it happen again on Adobe. There's the up arrow, and there she goes. 82% in 5 hours. Top traders like Adam, Murmis, Brett, they made out like bandits. And again, on XLC. Okay, there's the up arrow, and in less than 1 hour, XLC hits the second profit target. You could have nearly doubled your money from one quick trade. 75% on LXC. Okay. Chris says ProTrader dashboard, AlphaZone Pro, good levels. Yeah, very good levels. Don't get carried away. Losers are part of the game, and they will happen. Trust me, they will happen. But it gets better. Not only does the ProTrader dashboard outline the exact game plan for every single day, but it rides the coattails of institutional traders, spoon-feeding you stocks that are under heavy buying or selling pressure. Meaning you'll always know the best and worst stocks to trade on any given Sunday, any given day. Built into it is a relative strength scanner, okay, which is really important. With one simple click, the ProTrader dashboard ranks the stocks from the strongest to the weakest, okay? A stock with strong relative strength outperforms the S&P because it's under accumulation. A stock with weak relative strength is underperforming the S&P because it's being liquidated. Okay? Really, really simple. That means with literally the click of a mouse, you'll always know the best and the worst stock you should trade for the day. For example, just recently, the ProTrader dashboard showed that Tesla was one of the strongest stocks in the S&P 500 that day. It was outperforming the S&P on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a 30-minute basis, on a 15-minute basis, and even the 5-minute one. Relative strength was as good as it gets, meaning Tesla was prime stock to watch that day. If you had access to the ProTrader dashboard, all you would have had to do was wait for the up arrow. And you could see it shows up here at 10:30 a.m., indicating that Tesla was about to break out higher. Once the up arrow appears, the ProTrader dashboard will then automatically print your profit targets and stop loss levels for the day. And sure enough, Tesla went on a baboom streak, 84% in 4 hours. Barry, Art, Karen, they made out like bandits. ProTrader dashboard can find stocks exactly the same way to the downside too. Look at RTX. It was one of the worst performing stocks in the S&P 500. You would have known that if you had the ProTrader dashboard. In fact, it was underperforming the SPY in every single time frame. All you would have had to do was wait for a down arrow. At 10:10, the ProTrader dashboard gave us a signal to go short. It then automatically printed the ATR and volatility adjusted stop loss profit target on the chart. Sure enough, just 2 hours later, nosedive. Brett, Paul, Miles, and Bob, they crushed it. Now, as good as 4 times in less than 24-hour sounds, you haven't even seen the best part yet. Not only does the ProTrader dashboard have custom volume bars that decipher between buying and selling pressure. Look at that. I didn't even go into that when I was talking. That's why I said this is going to be a little more detailed. And red on the volume bar means more traders are selling. But we can also track unusual volume activity, which gives us a very clear idea when institutions are likely buying or selling. The ProTrader dashboard